NBA 2K rating recap. 12 games, 24 teams in action, a lot to power through, some injuries, some triple doubles, a double nickel. One quick note from the last video, TJ McConnell actually returned in the last game for the Pacers where they got killed by Utah. I missed that on the box score. He had 12 points in 11 minutes. Pacers one step closer to being a functional basketball team. And then the Clippers are playing, but I just want to cover this news separately. Bradley Beal, it was announced, is going to be out for the season due to hip surgery. He hurt his hip during the last game that he played. He had been dealing with knee issues, so this is a separate injury. I want to do sort of a referendum on Beal's season, but I think it's better reserved for a separate video given how much we have to break down in this one. So let's start off with the Charlotte Hornets. Moving up to 4-7 with a 111-100 victory over the Milwaukee Bucks. Fifth game without LaMelo Ball, ninth game without Brandon Miller. Hornets came into this one, though, 13th in the league offensively with a 117.5 offensive rating despite those absences. Last season, they were 29th, 107.3 offensive rating. And a big reason why is the performance of their rookies, not just lottery pick Con Knibble, but Ryan Kalkbrenner, who tied his career high with 17 points in this one, was 8 for 8 from the field, 9 rebounds, 3 blocks. He came into this one with an 81 field goal percentage, which was already first in the NBA before this. He is now 50 of 60 from the field on the year, 83% from the field. He's missed 10 shots in 11 games. That's absolutely batshit insane. He is setting field percentage records with every passing day in terms of how high a player's field goal percentage is X number of days into a season. We've never seen a player this efficient before, ever, in any season. So rounding out the rest of the Hornets, Colin Sexton, 16 points, 8 assists. He's been filling in really well for LaMelo Ball, offering them the backup point guard play that they have desperately needed given LaMelo's injury track record. Miles Bridges added 20 in this one, and then Con Knibble has been really solid the entire year. Has probably passed VJ Edgecombe, given that VJ's struggles from the field over his last 5 or 6 games. He had 17 in this one, Knibble did. Let's go on over to the Bucks, who were without Giannis in this one, a surprise scratch. Due to they wanted to rest his knee. It's not a back-to-back or anything, but by giving him the day off, he'll have 3 or 4 days of rest. So he gets the night off. Kyle Kuzma got the start. He had been playing well, but he got the start and had 8 points on 3 of 12 in this one. So ultimately led to their demise against the Hornets. Ryan Rollins added 25. He has consistently been their second best player. Although Miles Turner showed some life with 21 points, his second highest scoring output of the season. Going over to the Detroit Pistons. They moved up to 10-2 on the season. The number 1 team in the Eastern Conference, behind the number 16th offense and the number 4 defense. But they did not get they did not play their full assortment of players in this one en route to their 8th straight victory. They played their B team, but were still able to get a win against the Bulls, 124-113. It was the 8th straight win for the Pistons. Cade and Jalen Duren both were probable and then downgraded to questionable for this game. Both did not play. So we got to see B-Ball Paul enter the starting lineup, and he responded with one of the best games of his career. 28 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, 11 of 13 from the field, 2 for 2 on threes, 4 for 4 from the free throw line, also adding 4 steals and a block in 31 minutes of action. Absolutely dominating. Who's the center for the Bulls? All right, Nikola Vucevic. All right, so take any big line against the Bulls with, a little bit of a grain of salt, especially from a center, but still a very impressive performance. I do need to get his rating up. He's like the best third string center in the league, in my estimation. Is not always going to get a ton of minutes. Jalen Duren's having an all-star season. Isaiah Stewart has been really good as well, but certainly making a case for a larger rotation role, even when those guys are healthy. Obviously, Stewart's also been playing a little bit at the 4, so maybe Reed can step into that full-time backup center spot. And then Dennis Jenkins continued his really strong play out of nowhere. Jenkins was the hero in their last one, and then he was solid again in this one. 18 points, a career high, 12 assists. So I got around to boosting his rating up to a 677, which is +6 from where 2K's got him at. We are not going to fuck around. He's going to be ahead of Marcus Sasser in the rotation, I'm sure, whenever Sasser comes back. Probably ends up on a standard contract. Sasser's probably going to be on another team after the trade deadline. He didn't get extended. He's never really seemed like he's been like part of the Pistons' plans. Obviously, they're eventually going to get back Jaden Ivey as well, so it's going to be even harder for Sasser to get any type of playing time. I really like what Jenkins has showed them over the last 2 games, and he's a big reason why they were able to get this win despite the absence of their All-NBA star in Cade Cunningham. Duncan Robinson, he added 23 points in this one on 7 of 10 from 3, and then Karis LeVert, he had 17 points, 5 assists off the bench. The Pistons brought these guys in to essentially replace Malik Beasley. I don't know how, Beasley, the news, the gambling allegations and all that came out like on the eve of free agency. So it was like news to all the fans because everybody anticipated that he'd be getting a 3-year, like $42 million contract. And then the Pistons essentially had to go to plan B and bring in those 2 guys. But I feel like these 2 guys have actually helped the team. I think Robinson is a more like capable starter than Beasley. He's got more size, he's probably just like a better player overall, whereas like Beasley's more of like a raw 3-point gunner. So on games where they're missing, a bunch of the starters, they're able to get like more of an all-around game out of a Duncan Robinson. And more or less the same story with like Caris LeVert. He's also like a valuable 6th man, but he's able to play some backup point guard. He does a little bit of everything. So really great additions for the Pistons. An underrated reason why they are the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference. Entire Pistons team is on my rating edit list, or at least all the guys that are in their rotation. Javonte Green could stand to go up. I'm going to try and knock these guys out over the weekend. Let's go on over to Chicago. They've been struggling a bit of late after starting off 6-1. Or was it 6-0? Or have they lost 5 in a row? Or no, I think they started off 5-0. I can't remember when they got their first loss, but they're on a little bit of a slide. No Josh Giddey again, second straight game with a sprained ankle. Modest Buzelis picked up the scoring slack with 21 and 14 rebounds. Kevin Huerter got another start. He had 20 points. Isaac Okoro added 15. And then Javon Carter got his first real minutes of action of the season, had 11 points, 3 for 3 from 3 in 17 minutes. I think that he's a pretty good comp for Dennis Jenkins for what it's worth. Jenkins a little bit bigger than Carter at 6'4" rather than 6 foot, but they have a similar skill set. They get a lot of steals, and they're more of like a 3-and-D point guard rather than like a primary orchestrator, although Jenkins did have the 12 assists in this one with everybody sidelined. Going over to the Orlando Magic, they moved up to 500 on the year, 6-6, beating the New York Knicks 124-107, and this was despite Paolo Banchero leaving after 12 minutes in this game with a groin injury on his birthday. That sucks. Jonathan Isaac started the third quarter. Hopefully Banchero doesn't have to miss too much time, maybe a week or something like that. But Franz Wagner, he stepped up, 28 points, 9 rebounds. And then Desmond Bane, solid game all around, 22 points, 8 assists. He was 3 for 6 on threes. We've been keeping an eye on his shooting percentages of late. So good to see he's starting to come around. And then for the Knicks, they dropped to 7-4. It was a back-to-back for them. Mitchell Robinson actually played in this game. He sat out the first half of the back-to-back. But and also, I should mention for the Magic, they played Jalen Suggs in this one. Obviously, Suggs doesn't play back-to-backs, the one half of the back-to-backs either. Suggs actually played 26 minutes, I believe. So he maybe is starting to come off of his minutes restriction a little bit. But Jalen Brunson, the story for this game was Jalen Brunson. He had 31 points, 6 assists, 10 of 23 from the field, 10 of 13 from the free throw line, but he was the only Nick with the knack, as well Clyde Frazier might say. The rest of the starters also combined for 31 points, doing so on 12 of 30 shooting and then 4-4 from the free throw line. So they really shut down the rest of the team. Towns had 15 points on 15 shots, and then Bridges and Anunoby didn't break double figures. So the bad news for the Knicks is Brunson sprained his ankle in the fourth quarter, and he went to the locker room immediately. He left the arena on crutches. So it does seem like he is going to miss some time. If you recall, last season around like March, he also sprained his ankle and then ended up missing a month. Hopefully the Knicks don't have to go through an extended absence like that for Brunson, because I mean, based on their performance in this game, the players on the team have been, the Magic are a good defensive team. They haven't been this year, but they played like their past selves, the team that they were expected to be all year. So the Knicks starters, they had a down game in this one, but otherwise they have been playing well this season. They will be tested if Brunson has to miss time, because he's really the only playmaker that they have on the roster. McBride would probably step into the starting lineup, but he's not a playmaker, so maybe they'll get a little bit more out of Mikal Bridges. Jordan Clarkson's not really a playmaker either. Yeah, that's maybe Josh Hart has to re-enter the starting lineup, and I don't know. That's not great timing for this injury. We'll see what happens. Boston Celtics, they moved to 6-7 on the year, getting a win and a back-to-back over the Memphis Grizzlies, 131-95. Win might be an understatement. Worth noting that Jordan Walsh got the start in this one over Josh Minott. He had started the third quarter of the last game, so that continued into this one. He had 7 points, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks in 18 minutes. Josh Minott still played 22 minutes off the bench, so his rotation spot is secure. Peyton Pritchard led with 24 points. Derek White had 20. Jaylen Brown had 19. When those three guys are scoring well, the Celtics typically win. Also worth noting, Neemias Queta and Luka Garza combined for 27 points, 15 rebounds in 37 minutes against the size-starved Grizzlies. Going over to those Grizzlies, they were actually without Ja Morant in this one. I don't think due to any major injury. I think it's probably just going to be a one-game absence. Obviously, Morant has been not the greatest this year, so hopefully a little bit of rest gets him going. But they ended up, given that they had no point guard available for this one, they started Vince Williams at point guard. He had 12 points, but otherwise, he did the best he could. Cam Spencer got a lot of minutes in this one, 5 points, 3 assists in 29 minutes. He's really the closest thing they have to a backup point, to just a point guard in general on this team right now. KCP, he ended up leaving this game after 19 minutes due to an injury. Hopefully he doesn't have to miss a lot of time or anything. But if he does, that would open things up for Colin Coward to join the starting lineup, which I have been calling for a while. Coward was a little quiet in this one. I think only 3 of 10 from the field, if memory serves. And he was also struggled a little bit with his efficiency in the last 2 or 3 games, I think. So he's cooled off a little bit after a blistering start. But Jaren Jackson Jr., he had 18 points in 23 minutes. He came into this one with a career low 22.7 usage rate. Was 22.8 as a rookie. He's 26% for his career. And then last year he was 28%, and the year that Ja was out, he was 30%. So if we just put that into shot tendency terms, he's got the 9. Yeah, I forgot, because the 2K tendencies are actually outdated by 2 years. So this really should be an 80 based on, or actually 85 based on last year. But based on what he's doing this year, it would be a 70. So, I'm not exactly sure why that case is. I haven't, just from at a glance, I haven't been able to pinpoint the reason why. He is taking actually the same number of post-ups. It's probably pick and roll and isolations and stuff that are down, but I need to get a deeper look. Obviously, the Grizzlies did change their offensive system, going from Taylor Jenkins to Tomas Isolo, and I think Jackson was playing well in that read and react system. So maybe like basket cuts are a lot lower this year than they were last year. I got to dive in and check that out. So just put a pin in that for now. Let's go on over to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They got some revenge against Miami, 130 to 116. Their B team also got the dub in this one after the full squad lost to Miami in OT thriller. No Garland, Mobley, or Mitchell in this game. Instead, Alonzo, Sam Merrill, and Dean Wade got the start. Allen went for 30 points and 10 rebounds, season high in scoring for Jarrett Allen. DeAndre Hunter added 21. Lonzo Ball had 15 points in only 20 minutes. And then Craig Porter Jr. added 19 points and 9 assists in 32 minutes. So 34 points for those two guys combined certainly makes up for the absence of at least one of Garland or Mitchell. And then Tyrese Proctor also added 12 points in 22 minutes off the bench. What are we doing, Miami? Heading over to those Miami Heat, who have been good defensively on the year. But some of that with Bam Adebayo rather than Khalil Ware. I have a feeling that might have been a factor. Norm Powell, 27 points. And then Ware, he had 15 and 13 in the start. But if I had to guess, his pick and roll defense against Jarrett Allen and those point guards probably left a lot to be desired. That's just my general I didn't get to watch any of this game, but just a hunch that I have. Let's go on over to the Rockets. They move up to 7-3 on this season. We don't need to watch that game to know why they got the win, 135 to 112 over the Washington Wizards. KD had 23. Reed Shepherd, season high, 21 points for him. Tyree Eason, 20 points season high for him as well. So the bench, obviously, the Rockets are very deep compared to the Washington Wizards. Their bench absolutely rifle-stomped the Wiz. Amen Thompson, of course, added 18 and 8. Şengün had 16 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists to fill out the rest of the starting lineup. The Rockets out-rebounded the Wizards 53 to 37 on the glass, 20 offensive rebounds to Washington's 25 defensive rebounds. Woof. Going over to those Wizards who dropped to 1-11, are now in the midst of a 10-game losing streak. Alex Sarr was good again, 25 points, 11 rebounds. Consistency has been the Wizards' best player. Keyshawn George, 16 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists, but kind of nothing else from the rest of the team. CJ, Trey, and Middleton combined for 4 rebounds in 80 minutes. Too small of a lineup to play against Houston. The coach, Brian Keefe, is just kind of like there hanging out. He probably should have tried to match up with Houston's big ball a little bit. Maybe start Sarr and Marvin Bagley. Bagley was pretty effective in this one off the bench. But yeah, I don't think that lineup was going to get it done against the supersized Blazers. Got to try and do something different to end the win streak, or the losing streak, I should say. Blazers, they move up to 6-5 on the year, 125 to 117 over the Pelicans. Denny Avdia had 32 points. Shaedon Sharpe had a season high 35 points, 13 of 18 from the field, 12 of 18 from the field for Avdia. So combined 25 of 36, 67 points for those two guys. And then Drew Holiday, 17 points, 12 assists. I have not touched any of the ratings on Portland yet, aside from like Young Henson, I think. I will try to get a few edits in over the weekend to at least get, I think Avdia and Drew Holiday should probably be over Toumani Camara. If anything, Camara struggled a little bit offensively this season. Let's go on over to the Pelicans. They have struggled offensively this season, dropping to 2-9. Zion is now taking contact in practice, so maybe he'll be back for the next game. We'll see. But Derek Queen, he had a career high 26 points in 38 minutes off the bench in this one, 12 of 18 from the field, which was necessitated because Yves Missi Only played 2 minutes off the bench in this one. He was ejected after getting into a scuffle with Jeremy Grant. So I don't know if there's going to be a suspension or anything for that. But Misi had already missed a couple games due to illness. Obviously, not going to be able to make a case to return to the starting lineup. Only playing 2 minutes in this one. Kevon Looney, for what it's worth, 0 points, 3 fouls, 8 minutes. Why aren't they just starting Derek Queen? Maybe they will in the next game because I think he played 8 minutes, 2 minutes, that's 10, and then 38 for Queen. So that was probably all 48 center minutes. Just start Derek Queen. Like, what else are you playing for this year? You don't need Kevon Looney's veteran presence on a 2-win team. Going over to the Golden State Warriors, they move up to 7-6 on the year, playing a back-to-back, but were able to beat the Spurs on the road. 125 to 120. It was probably the game of the night. I wish I got a chance to watch some of this before I hit the record button, but c'est la vie. 125 to 120. Steph Curry, 46 points, 13 of 25 from the field, 5 of 16 from 3, 15 of 16 from the free throw line. Warriors took 36 free throws on the road versus 16 for the Spurs at home. How Curry took as many free throws as the entire Spurs team, with 2/3 of his shots being threes, I'm sure that is a sticking point for many fans who complain about foul calls and foul rate discrepancies. Jimmy Butler, another I don't mind him getting that many free throws because he's obviously really good at getting contact. He's been doing that his whole career. He had 28 points, 7 of 12 from the field, 5 of 7 from 3, probably one of the best three-point shooting games of his career, and then 9 of 12 from the free throw line. What strikes me odd about the 12 free throw attempts for him in this one is that it came in a game where he shot 7 threes versus only 5 twos. So again, like, they must have just been getting fouled on every single two-pointer that these guys were taking, which seems, not like a common rate. Worth noting, the big news for this game was I need to fix that. Jonathan Kuminga removed from the starting lineup in this game. Will Richard actually got the start, along with Moses Moody, Draymond Green, and yeah, wow, I automated it and it actually gave me the lineup. Perfect. Okay. Technically, maybe I would consider Jimmy Butler to be the 4 in this lineup, with like Richard at the 2 and Moody at the 3, but whatever. Richard, he got the start in this one, had 3 points in 21 minutes. Kuminga, he had 0 points on 0 for 1 shooting in 12 minutes, also a -10 in this one, so he was not particularly effective. He left the game with knee soreness. He was already questionable to play, so that may have factored into like the demotion. Obviously, there'd been some chatter after the last game that the Warriors weren't playing team ball, etc. So, interesting timing for Kuminga being demoted, but it could also just be injury related. And given the win against the quality opponent in the Spurs, it's probably something that sticks moving forward. We'll see if Kuminga is available in the next one and what his role is moving forward, but he had kind of been struggling in the last couple of games. Disappointing for him after everybody was kind of anticipating a little bit of a breakout for him after he started the year in the starting lineup and had been playing well. So keep an eye on that development. Spurs, on the other hand, they dropped to 8-3 despite getting 2 triple doubles, one out of Victor Wembanyama and one out of Stephon Castle. 31 points, 15 rebounds, 10 assists for Wemby, 11 of 22 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3, 6 of 6 from the free throw line, 1 block to keep that streak alive. But worth noting that he did have 8 turnovers in this one. Ball security and just turnovers in general have kind of been an issue for Wembanyama. It is the one weakness in his game. He had 10 assists, but also had 8 turnovers. So unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to watch this game to see how those turnovers occurred. I am going to make it a point to actually watch some of the meat of this game to see, whether or not the Warriors were doubling, or and then if they were, how was that causing the turnovers? Was he getting the ball poked away? Was he making errant passes? All that is very useful information because Wemby's kind of cooled off a little bit after an explosive start to the year. Teams have kind of figured out they're learning throughout the season what to do defensively. But Stefan Castle, he was also really good in this one. Still starting at point guard with like Fox at the 2. He had 23 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists in this one. First Spurs teammates to record triple doubles in the same game. Fox, a little more muted performance, 13 points, 5 assists. He had 6 turnovers, back-to-back big turnover games for Fox. And then Luke Cornett, he had 12 points, another 6 for 6 game from the field, channeling his inner Ryan Kalkbrenner, back-to-back 6 for 6 games for Luke Cornett. Let's go on over to the Suns, who got their 4th win in a row, 123 to 114, moving up to 7-5 on the year. Devin Booker, 26 points. Grayson Allen, 23 points. I need to get him over an 80. And then Dylan Brooks added 18. Suns have been a lot better than anticipated just because they've been getting solid performances out of the vets that they got on this team. And everybody's, for the most part, been healthy aside from Jalen Green. Dylan Brooks did miss a little bit. Mark Williams missed a little bit, but they've got everybody back right now, except for Jalen Green, of course, who's going to be out for at least a month, I would say. And they got this win over the Dallas Mavericks. They dropped to 3-9. It was their first game post Nico Harrison. Klay Thompson finally showed some life off the bench, 19 points, 6 of 17 from the field, so still not the greatest, but he was 6 of 16 from 3. So the field goal percentage actually not terrible since it was pretty much all threes, like that's 38%-ish or something. Played 31 minutes. Finally a good performance. We'll see if he's able to keep it going. Brandon Williams otherwise led the starters in scoring with 17 points, 9 assists, 33 minutes in his second start. I'm not sure if D'Angelo Russell played in this one. I didn't think to check, but he essentially lost his starting job to B. Will. Cooper Flagg, 16 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, solid overall line for the 18-year-old. Daniel Gafford, 15 points, 9 rebounds. I think that was his best game of the year so far. He did play 26 minutes, probably his season high. He's been on a minutes restriction, so he seems to be coming off of that as well. But some downer news. PJ Washington, 6 points in 5 minutes, left with a shoulder strain. Najee Marshall started the third quarter, so they really only have one true power forward on the roster. I wouldn't count Caleb Martin as one, so if Washington, Brandon Miller strained his shoulder too, and he's been out for like the last 2 weeks. So if Washington has to miss extended time, AD not ready to come back yet. Patrick Dumont put out a statement saying that he was going to wait for medical data in order to before they clear AD to return. They're not going to rush him back. So it seems like Najee Marshall's time, or Cooper Flagg move up to the 4 and bring Klay Thompson back into the starting lineup at like the 3. Yeah, not great. Looks like a redux of the season that the Mavericks had last season after the Luka trade. Going over to the Thunder, they move up to 11-1 on the 12-1 on the season. Playing a back-to-back, but it doesn't matter. They trucked the Lakers. I didn't write down the score, but the game was 70-38 at the half. So that's pretty much all you need to know. SGA, 30 points, 9 assists, 29 minutes. He's getting rest because they're blowing all these teams out. Like they held the Lakers to 40% from the field, 20 turnovers. So they've been able to weather the storm of injuries because they're 12 deep. It doesn't matter who plays. Isaiah Joe had another 21-point performance with Lou Dort out. Thunder are going to repeat as champs, most likely. They are very clearly head and shoulders above everybody else in the NBA. Lakers, they dropped to 8-4. Luka and Reeves combined for 32 points on 11 of 32 shooting, had 10 assists to 9 turnovers against the OKC defense. So does look like there's still a cap on their, there is a ceiling for this team. We'll see once LeBron comes back next week how he is able to be additive to what they've got going on. If he is additive, we'll see what he looks like at the age of 40, 41. Atlanta Hawks, they move up to 7-5 on the year with a 133 to 100 blowout over the Kangs. Jalen Johnson, near triple double for him, 24 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 9 of 10 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3, the only shot he missed, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 1 turnover. Onyeka Okongwu, 21 points off the bench, 6 of 7 from the field, 7 of 8 from the free throw line. Every center ever is going to have a field day against the Kangs. Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Luke Cornett back in the lineup as well. Hawks shot 58% to the Kangs 39%. Going over to the Kangs, 3-9. They were on a back-to-back. Zach LaVine was out, so Russell Westbrook got the start at the 2 guard in this one. Malik Monk also out. Domantas Sabonis, 12 points, 2 assists, 4 turnovers. I don't know what happened to him this year. Russell Westbrook, that might be what happened to him this year. 10 points, 3 assists, 3 turnovers in his start. DeMar DeRozan, 19 points, 19 minutes, 4 points, 1 for 6 from the field. Keon Ellis, 20 points off the bench, 6 threes. Why the fuck is he not starting in a game where Zach LaVine is out? Why are they starting Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook in the backcourt when they need anybody with a defensive pulse who can also stretch the floor? Why are they deferring to a guy that they just signed at the end of camp, who's 36 years old, not part of the future of this team? I guess maybe part of the future of this team, because Vivek probably is just like thrilled that like a future Hall of Famer actually is willing to play for his team. But this is just the most like batshit franchise imaginable. Domantas Sabonis, I had to drop him down to an 85 overall, -2 from where I had him previously. Just -5 to all his pass ratings. Only 17% assist rate this year, down from 26%. Hasn't been this low since he was 22 years old, playing for Indiana, his second year with Indiana, 3rd in the league overall. And then I also dropped his consistency quite a bit. More overall rating drops for the rest of the Kangs are incoming. There isn't a single player on this team who is playing well, except for, I guess, Keon Ellis tonight. Going over to the Denver Nuggets, opposite story for them. They move up to 8-2 on the year, back-to-back win, 130 to 116 over the LA Clippers. 130 to 116 was it's their 6th straight win for the Nuggets. Jokic, 55 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 18 of 23 from the field, 5 of 6 from 3, 14 of 16 from the line, 2 turnovers, 34 minutes. What the actual fuck? Like, can we now break the overall, like the 99 overall rating? He should be like 105 overall. It's like he's insane. Like, what do I even do to him stats wise? He doesn't even dunk to get all this. His close shot rating, like statistically, by scale, should be like 140. That's how good it is. Yeah, there's what else can we say? Joker's been this way for like the last 6 years, but he's like, even this year is taking it to another level. So I kind of felt like he wasn't going to be MVP this year, that the voters would get tired. And I mean, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is giving him a run for his money in OKC, given the record that they're putting together right now. But Denver's not too far behind. They are performing better than they did last year. And if he keeps putting up stats like this, he might be looking at his at another MVP season, his 4th in 5 years. Rounding out the rest of the Nuggets, a little bit downer news though. Cam Johnson and Christian Brown both got hurt in the first half. So Tim Hardaway Jr. and Spencer Jones on a 2-way. They started the third quarter. THJ had 12 points, 21 minutes, whereas Jones He had 3 points, 5 fouls in 15 minutes. Probably going to stay on that two-way contract. Aaron Gordon, 18 points. Jamal Murray, 17 points to round things out, and I guess 80 points combined for 90 points combined. Sorry for the Nuggets' top three players. Um, and then finishing off with the LA Clippers. They dropped to 3-7 with this one. I did mention that Beal out for the season, so it does look like Chris Dunn locked into the starting role probably for the rest of the year. He had 5 fouls in 16 minutes, so yeah, that's about what you could expect out of Bradley Beal this year. But James Harden led the way again, 23 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 6 of 15 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3, 10 for 10 from the free throw line. It is going to be a struggle for the Clippers offensively. John Collins got another start, 2 points, 1 of 6 from the field. In his second start, he has really disappointed so far this year. Got to get his rating down. But Jordan Miller essentially filled the Bradley Beal void. 22 points for him. He's on a two-way, but wasn't on a two-way last year. He'll probably eventually get back to a standard contract at some point. He had 22 on 6 of 10 shooting, 5 of 7 from 3, 5 of 6 from the free throw line. So I got to get that three-point rating up. Played 26 minutes. And then Kobe Sanders out of nowhere, 9 points, 3 assists. He was the backup point guard in this one. Chris Paul, once again, a DNP coach's decision for the third straight game. I don't really know what that's about. Is CP complete like that washed that we're now playing like two-way players, two-way contract players over him? I haven't like looked at his like stat line or anything about like that, but like I don't know. He started 82 games for the Spurs last year. It was pretty effective. Just let him play through it. Like, is he ready to like retire mid-season or something? Because I don't understand why he would just be randomly out for 3 games without any like injury reporting or whatever. Well, if CPA is going to retire mid-season or something, it's time for me to retire for the night. Only 3 games tomorrow night, so let me know in the comments who needs some rating adjustment. Hopefully you liked this video and you liked all the videos that I've been putting out this year. We're now 3 weeks into the NBA season. Haven't missed a day of a recap. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Have a good day or a good night whenever you're watching this.